Hey guys, good afternoon, good morning, good night, wherever you are, maybe joining from around the world. My name is Omar Khan, and I am the co-founder of THETA TRADING CO. So I want to give you guys a couple little tidbits of knowledge on the stock market. All these new people are coming on and starting to trade, and it's a weird world. So I wanted to break down to you exactly what's going on, why it's going on, and how to use it to your advantage, okay? So let's rewind back a little bit before the pandemic actually hit, which let's call it February of 2020. World was pretty normal. You know, we were doing our day-to-day things. You know, we're used to working a certain way, and there was interest in the stock market, but not a huge amount of interest, right? Because it's same interest as it's always been. And then the pandemic hits, and we hit lockdown. Let's look back at March of 2020. So pandemic hits, we're all in lockdown. All sports gets canceled. Casinos are closed, right? This is something to take note of. So what happened was normally a lot of people, they gamble on this on sports, you know, NFL, NBA, NHL, MLB. So what did they do? Well, they learned, wait a second, I can actually invest in the stock market and get my thrill of gambling in there, right? So somebody who would normally bet on an NBA game, you know, they're gotten into the stock market, the options market now. Now, the weird thing to note is this. Now that you have stimulus checks hitting bank accounts around North America, what happens, right? You have all these new apps like Robinhood, which make it easy to trade. You can buy fractional shares, no commissions. It's super easy, right? So all the people that used to go bet on sports and go to casinos, they've gravitated towards the stock market, right? Now, whether this is a permanent change or a temporary change, I don't know. Time will tell. The problem is this, and this is always been the problem. I have been trading for 23 years, since 1998, and all the time that I've been trading, I've seen this happen over and over again. People come in the market, they go out of the market. They come in the market, they go out of the market. This is just the next wave. I've seen this a few different times. I saw it in the late 90s with the dot-com boom. I saw it again in the late 2000s, just before the housing collapse in the United States. And now this is another tournament. Now, what makes this a little bit different is the fact that so many different people participate because of apps like Robinhood, right? You just go on, download the app, open up the account, bam, you're going. Right? You don't even have to buy a full share of a stock anymore. You can buy a partial share. And guess what? No commissions. Right? The problem is the stock market is not like an NBA basketball game. It is not. It requires a lot of knowledge. It requires a lot of experience. It requires understanding the right things. Right? But now what's happened is all these people have moved into the stock market without any clue what they're really doing. This, again, eerily reminiscent of the late 90s, early 2000s. I remember working as a trader back then, and same thing back then. Back then, what happened was Jim Cramer or some other talking head on CNBC. Actually, I'm not even sure if it was Jim Cramer back then, but it was some talking head on CNBC or BNN would go on and say, you know, blah, blah, blah.com is going to go up to the moon. What would happen is everybody would start calling in or going online and start buying that stock. And just during the half-hour segment that they're on TV, the stock could have gone up 10, 20, 30, 40, 50%. This was common back in the late 90s, early 2000s, right? It's happening again now. The difference now is it's so much easier, right? All you do is you go on your phone, you open your app, bam, you're in, right? Another difference now is you have people on these message boards like Reddit. They're able to coordinate what they're going to buy. So there's a lot more market manipulation, right? Now, in the short run, the stock market is a popularity contest, meaning anything can happen, right? What was a famous line in that movie of Wolf of Wall Street? I don't care if your name is Jimmy Buffett or Warren Buffett. Nobody knows if a stock is going to go up, down, sideways, or in circles in the short run. There is a large degree of truth to that, right? So in the short run, the stock market is a popularity contest. In the long run, it is a weighing machine, okay? What that means is companies with quality earnings get rewarded. Simple as that. Okay? Right now, it's a popularity contest, as we saw with GameStop and AMC and BlackBerry and Nokia, companies that were dead. don't make any money. You know, they've gone up hundreds of percents, right? Doesn't make any sense. It's irrational, but it's not irrational. It's happened many times before. Short run popularity contest, long run weighing machine. And what's happened to all these stocks? They're coming right back down to where they started, right? And that's because they don't have any quality earnings. So just because there's all these new traders that came on the market, it doesn't mean they're going to be profitable long term. They're probably not, because if you walk into anything, if you try to buy real estate with no education, you know, if you try to buy, same thing with the stock market, you get involved in the stock market and you don't know what you're doing, just think about that logically. Do you think a good outcome is going to occur? Probably not, right? Now, how do you learn to invest the right way? Well, that's what you have to learn. What am I comfortable investing in, right? This whole thing of making bigger returns in a very short time span, they might seem really attractive, you know, with all these new asset categories like Bitcoin. I'm not saying Bitcoin's a bad asset category. In fact, I think it's a great asset category, but it's speculative asset category, right? Doesn't mean you put all your money there. It doesn't really have any tangible earnings. It's probably going to be here to stay, but it's not so easy to invest in terms of, you know, we think we know where it's going. We think we know how it's going to play out, but, you know, there's always things like black swan events. What if a competitor comes in? What if a central bank launches a digital currency, right? And I understand, you know, Bitcoin could be considered the new gold. So anyways, my point is there's a lot of different asset categories now. There's a lot of new people entering the market, but the problem, they don't know what they're doing or why they're doing it. If you invest and you make a lot of money, right? We should never confuse that for being genius, right? In a rising market, everyone looks like a genius. When the market pulls back, we'll see who's wearing swim trunks, right? And that's the same thing that's happening now. People are just putting their money into random things like GameStop. It's going up, and they think they're. The question is, do you understand what you're doing? Can you repeat it over and over and over again? And do you have a defined strategy which you're able to implement over and over and over? You know, if the answer to that question is no, I would strongly encourage finding out a lot more about how to invest the right way. There's a difference between investing and throwing your money around, gambling, right? That's a different story altogether. I know a lot of people like to turn a small amount of money into a large amount of money. I get it. But, you know, it doesn't lead to long-term success. Long-term success is done by investing in high-quality companies that have like big futures, that make earnings. You know, like a Tesla, for example. You know, that's been a great story this year. It's right because they're changing the world, right? You look at the amount of EV cars, their battery technology, their solar and wind that's about to start. Their solar, and their energy storage that is about to start. That company is changing the world. It's a legitimate investment vehicle. That's not meant to be an endorsement. What that is meant to show you is that is a legitimate business with legitimate earnings. GameStop is not, right? GameStop is just a stock that was heavily shorted. A bunch of people got together and said, why don't we cause a short squeeze, right? Thus increasing the price of the moon and just keep buying irrationally. Someone's going to pay the price. That's exactly what's happening. You know, I think it peaked at $413, and now it's probably going to go right back down to where it started. It was a couple bucks or whatever it was, right? That's irrational. That is not investing. That is gambling. So you have to learn the difference between investing and gambling, right? Investing is being able to understand why you did something and being able to repeat it over and over again. Gambling is simply getting lucky, right? Oh, my buddy told me to buy GameStop. I'm a genius. That's not how it works. Oh, my buddy told me to buy Nokia. Okay, great. I hope your buddy has a crystal ball because your buddy's going to have to pull these rabbits out of his hat over and over again. That's not a great way to make money long term. Hope is a shitty strategy, okay? What you want to look for is, how do I make money consistently? What do I do? What are the things I do day in and day out? And that's what we focus on here at Theta Trading. We focus on a way to make money day in and day out, methodology that you can repeat over and over and over again. And that is exactly what we do. And that is based upon trading options around high-quality companies that we want to own anyways. Okay? So I would really encourage you guys not to get caught up in all this hysteria of the market of late and all these new traders. You know, just to go back on that thing we were talking about since the pandemic started, you know, you had millions and millions of new traders come on board with no idea what they're doing. It's going to cause havoc until they lose their money and they're going to leave like they have done every other time. They may be here to stay, but the only way they're going to stay is if they learn how to make money consistently and repeatedly, right? These one-off victories are not going to qualify for creating a lot of long-term investors into the market or new longer-term investors. So, so the pandemic has really changed our world. The lockdown, the pandemic is this. The amount of traders I think is here to stay. These new asset categories like Bitcoin are probably here to stay. The difference is that most people don't know what they're doing or why they're doing it. If you don't inherently understand the business that you're investing in, like if you're just buying Bitcoin but you don't get why you're buying Bitcoin, is that a great idea? You know, you have to follow the example of the greatest investors of the world. Like Warren Buffett says, he never invests in a company he doesn't understand. So it's not, even if you don't understand it, try to understand it. Right? But if you're going to invest in a stock or a company, you have to make sure that you know why you invest in that company. Why did I make this investment? Did I make it because I was guessing? Did I make it because my buddy told me? Or did I make it because I believe in this company, because they have earnings, because they're going to be very profitable, or they already are very profitable, right? That is the difference between investing and gambling. And I hope you guys get caught up on the right side of that. You don't want to be into gambling, right? Gambling is a lot of the new traders that came on who are no longer able to bet on sports. And I hope they gravitate towards becoming investors. But gambling is not a strategy. Hope is not a good strategy. Learning to invest the right way is. What is my approach? What do I do day in and day out? How do I make it work for me in the long run so I can repeat this over and over and over again? Anyways, guys, we just started our YouTube channel. We have a pretty big following here in Canada. We trade a lot of the U.S. and Canadian stocks and options. We have a pretty big following here, but we just started our YouTube channel. So for any of you guys who are members of THETA, we encourage you to subscribe and like. And for any of those who don't know who THETA is, I encourage you to go to our website. It's right back there, as you can see. And take a look at who we are. Follow us and see what we do. We're going to be releasing a lot more videos that go into the ins and outs of trading and some of the details of what we do in day out, and a lot of economic commentary and company-specific commentary. But make sure you like, subscribe, and follow us. We look forward to being a part of your life down the road. Omar from THETA Trading. See you guys soon. Take care.